everyone. My name is Mark Kelly. Thank you for joining us on the Northland Artist Conversation. Hope you're doing well. We are filming this episode almost in the middle of winter. Well, it's June, so like that first week of June where you go, brr, it's cold, and the days are extra short. So yeah, hopefully you're doing well. If you're listening to this, thanks very much for listening to us on your podcast of choice platform. And if you're watching us, thanks very much. We've had such an incredible journey and continue to do so. 2026 is actually shaping up to be a phenomenal year. We've had some massive milestones this year already. We had our first ever tattoo artist, which was great. We've had a DJ, and then we've had today's amazing guest. I'm going to flick to my camera. This was quite a special podcast for me. Is with someone that I am privileged enough to call a friend. And he is such an amazing guy, and he has done so much for myself and my family personally. Someone with just a phenomenal amount of talent. And although he doesn't consider himself a creative, he is very much creative in what he does. So I'm going to shut up, and I'm just going to let you guys enjoy this. Let's sit down and have a conversation with Dion McCracken. Right. Oh, fuck. Something official. Yeah. Okay. Let's... Dion McCracken. Also podcaster. This is exciting. Hey, thanks for coming in and joining us on the Northland Artist Conversation. This is a bit of a special moment for me, so thank you for taking some time. We'll go over why it's special. Thank you for coming in and sitting down with us. This is very, very cool. So,
thanks, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Yours is, I would like to say, a rather interesting journey
Mm.
because we know each other, and we've known each other for 4 years in July. Yeah. And over that time, some interesting things have happened in both of our lives. But from what I know, you've kind of dipped your toes in and out of creativity, like along the way. Like you now run a hugely successful podcast that has international reach and is cited internationally from like a respected YouTube community people. So first off, congratulations on that. I've seen the stats and I've had a look at the figures. It is sensational. Because how long have you been going for?
Oh, a year. Look, we're no Logan Paul kind of numbers.
No.
To be fair,
Yeah.
but I appreciate the sentiment.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, we've got YouTube, we've got a whole 264 subscribers.
Quality though.
Yeah, but and just out of curiosity, what are your numbers?
I have no idea that they're about 6,600 at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's a rough guesstimation.
Ish.
But it just goes to show the level and the reach you guys are starting to grab after a year. You know, and that's huge. So what we'll sort of end on that part, but I want to go right back. Growing up, mum and dad as a kid, what was the household like?
I grew up in small town New Zealand, which I think is the greatest place to grow up.
Which was?
Dargaville.
Yes.
Which I used to say embarrassingly. Is embarrassingly a word?
Yes, it is.
Which I used to say embarrassingly. As a little bit of a joke. I'd
Right,
say to
okay.
people, I'm from Dargaville, don't tell anyone.
Yeah. Not dug a hole or anything like that.
Not correct.
Yeah.
Not dug a hole.
Yeah.
No. I loved Dargaville.
Yep.
I loved growing up in small town New Zealand. I think it was a pretty normal childhood.
Mm-hmm.
There was plenty of love and support and opportunity for us, and I guess privileged in many ways. We had a good start in life. But yeah, Dargaville was a great community. It was a good place to grow up and obviously shape who I am. it'll always have a special place in my heart, as everyone's, as most people's upbringings and hometowns do, I'm sure. But yeah, Dargaville I like very much. In fact, I did say to my wife about 5 years ago, whilst driving through the mean streets of Dargaville,
Yeah. Yes.
I said, you know what, I could move back here.
Really?
And she said, well, that won't be happening.
Okay, right. Yeah.
So it won't be happening.
Yeah. Sensible lady.
Mm.
Very practical. I have, in previous jobs, I've gone and worked in Dargaville quite a lot. It still has a lot of that same small town feeling from when I moved up here 10 years ago. It's friendly. People are nice. Like, you can go to cafes and stuff like that, and people that haven't seen you are like, yeah, g'day, where you from? And, I came from Gisborne, so a bit bigger, but it still very much has that regional feel to it.
Yeah, very much so. And obviously a lot's changed in the 32 or whatever years since I've lived there.
Yeah.
But I think that's a Kiwi thing.
Yeah.
Because, you see people that have moved to New Zealand from the States or wherever, and they're like, people talk to you on the streets and you don't know them.
Yeah.
They say hello.
Yep.
They ask how you are and they wait for a response.
Yep.
So I think Dargaville is an incredible place to grow up.
Yep.
I think New Zealand is the greatest country on earth.
Yes.
I think we're all very, very lucky to live here and be able to thrive here and not have to deal with many of the world's problems. How deep do we want to go with this discussion?
Man, we can go wherever you want to go with this. It's all up to you.
But look, I think a lot of people don't understand how lucky we have it in this country. So, lucky we are.
Yeah. Was there much creativity in the household growing up? Were you sporty? Were you creative? Were you academic? Did you kind of dip your toes into like were you one of those where it's like I hung out with everyone but no specific group at school?
Yeah, well, first of all, Mark, it's a bit of an embellishment you saying I'm a creative. When you said that a few weeks ago, I was like, am I though?
Yeah.
Am I really?
We'll get to that.
Maybe I am. Maybe I am in facets if I want to dig deep. But I suppose you're a Kiwi and you don't want to say actually. So from a creative standpoint, not really. Not for me. We grew up in a house with where music was always a big deal.
Yep, nice.
Mum and Dad played on the old organ at home, but beyond that, not massively creative. And when it came to sports, I was involved in Kempo Karate after watching The Karate Kid. How could you not?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We all tried the crane kick.
Absolutely.
Some of us didn't do it as well.
Some of us fell flat on our faces until we did a bit of training.
I had a lot of arse falls.
Yeah. So a bit of that and a bit of, a lot of cricket. That was my first passion. Yeah. Absolute passion.
Yeah,
wow. And growing up, I was certain I was going to play for the Black Caps, which then weren't the Black Caps, but the New Zealand cricket team. Certain it was going to happen.
Yeah.
Turns out you got to be a good cricketer to do that, and a good cricketer I was not, so that never happened. But the fallback was I'm going to be a commentator. I'm going to be a New Zealand cricket commentator on television. Be the greatest job in the world. I still think it'd be tremendous. That never happened, but I did get behind a commentary mic in some capacity.
It's funny that you end up in that space anyway.
Yeah, weird. Yeah, but enjoyable.
Yeah. And you are good at it. Like, you're very good at what you do. Man. In the studio tonight, my son Sean is here, who is also a big fan of Dion, and he's gone through and watched a lot, and I mean a lot of the older content where you do commentate.
Ah, okay.
And it's just it's really interesting to hear. Now, you academically, how'd you do at school?
Okay, yeah, I think probably 99% of students, my report card probably always said, but would do better if applied themselves. So that was all of my reports. Brilliant. Would do better if they applied themselves and stop being the joker in class. So it did okay.
Yeah. Right.
Took a year off after high school. Took the gap year before.
Oh wow. Okay.
Sort of pursuing IT for whatever reason. But yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Mine would be better if he applied himself and stopped bunking.
Yeah.
Gisborne.
That's called the double whammy.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. You got there though.
Yeah. Why? Yeah. It was an interesting time. Now you mentioned you sort of IT and you kind of fell into it, or was it something that you'd always had an early interest in?
Well, my father bought me my parents bought me a Commodore 64 computer.
Yes.
Oh, what a device that was.
So good.
Which I think was like $1,000 back in like 1989, which in today's money is like $4.5 million.
It is. Yeah.
So that was my introduction to
Right.
computing. Not that I did anything beyond gaming.
Yeah. Like Where in the World is Carmen San Diego type stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. International Karate Plus.
Yep.
Etc.
Oh, wow.
California Games.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So yeah, I got into computing a little bit through there. At least that was my introduction.
Yeah.
I think in sixth form or year 12 for those playing at home.
Yeah, I struggle with years.
Was I had to do the math quickly.
Yeah.
We had a little bit of a computing course, but super basic stuff. I can't even remember why I chose this degree or this path. It wasn't a passion, but boy, am I glad I did, because I met my wife.
Yep.
So had I not had that gap here and then gone into this, who knows we wouldn't be standing here right now, because this is sitting. We're not standing. We wouldn't be sitting here right now because butterfly effect and all that good stuff.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah.
Far out. And now you've kind of you've run a lot with that IT background, and like you've run your own companies and all that sort of stuff. Incredibly successful as well.
Oh, thank you.
There was a certain moment in your life where you discovered what would be like. So you develop a passion for IT. You become fortunate enough to meet your wife and have a passionate relationship with her. But then there's a third passion. Now that passion would kind of follow you a lot through your life.
Yeah.
And that passion would be bass guitar. No, wrestling. Wrestling.
I was like, where are we going with this? Because it could be a couple of things.
Yeah. But wrestling. And that's kind of... how did all that sort of come about?
Yeah, well, it was July 1988. It was a cold winter.
So specific.
It was
wow, that's incredible.
Cyclone Bowler. That was 89.
Yeah.
I don't remember how this came about, other than WWF Superstars of Wrestling.
Yes, remember it
which
well.
was July 1988. And for whatever reason, we knew this thing was coming on TV. It must have been advertised well or whatever. And I don't know what drew me to it, because I wasn't interested in wrestling beforehand.
Yeah.
I was aware of this thing called On the Mat when I was a lot younger, not something that I watched. So I did watch this show. I think it was like on Thursday nights, quite late on TV2.
Mm-hmm.
And the next day in school, it felt like everyone was talking about this thing that was on television the night before, which still blows my mind that all these people were watching it. And there were two moments in that initial broadcast that got me hooked. And to this day, I see them very vividly.
Yeah.
One was the highlights package of WrestleMania 4. Right. The main event of WrestleMania 4 was Macho Man Randy Savage and the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase fighting for the vacant WWF Championship.
Yeah.
Now Hulk Hogan, who I didn't realize was Hulk Hogan at that stage, takes a steel chair, clangs it across the back of the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase in this sport.
Yes.
That we believe is a sport.
Yeah, like and legit too.
Absolutely. It took me months before my heart was broken on that one. So everyone's talking, did you see that Hulk guy? And he took the chair and he smashed that $1 Million Man guy, and the other guy won, and then he got the championship.
Yeah.
So there was that, and that was the moment.
Yeah.
But the other one in the same broadcast was a man by the name of Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Yes.
Who came to the ring with a 2x4 or a
Yes.
4x2 if you're a New Zealander.
Yes.
A hunk of wood.
Yep.
Bit of lumber.
Yep.
And smashed the biggest man you would ever see in your life, 500 pounds of Andre the Giant.
Yep.
And took the man down with this hunk of lumber.
Wow.
So I was hooked from there.
Yeah.
Week in, week out, I'd watch it. Set the VCR.
Yes.
If I couldn't see it, watched it on tape, rewound it, watched it again.
Yeah.
Rewound it, watched it again.
Wow.
I was all in. Yeah, I was fully all in. And cricket was still a passion.
Yeah.
And I was still going to play for the Black Caps.
Yes, you were.
But wrestling soon took over. For a few years.
Yeah.
It was on through, I'm going to say February, March 1991, until too many children put their mums in sleeper holds. You'll remember this is a real thing.
Yep.
So there was a petition to get it off the air.
Yep, remember
That's
that.
what happened. And I fell away from it, or I grew up And as I said recently to someone else, a lot of people grow out of wrestling, and I did,
Yeah, same.
but I came back.
Yep.
So around 1996.
That's a short break.
Looking back, it was a short break.
Yeah.
But
It
when
probably
you're
felt
that-
huge.
Well, when you're that young,
Yeah.
3 or 4 years is an eternity.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Now it's an afternoon nap.
It is.
So I came back to it in about 96 and sort of rediscovered, and it had changed hugely in that amount of time as well. So we're looking Ultimate Warrior, Sergeant Slaughter for the WWF Championship.
Yes.
Then a few years later, we're looking at Shawn Michaels, who was in the
Rockers. Yep.
against Psycho Sid for the championship around that sort of time. So I fell back into it, and led on to a million things from there beyond just fandom, being involved, contracting to WWF, running my own shows, commentating, podcast, 10 trips overseas to North America to watch wrestling. So it's it's a passion, and it did take me a long time to be comfortable with. Yes, professional wrestling is my passion. I'm a 51-year-old man.
Yeah.
Professional wrestling is my passion. We've all got our things.
Yep.
I'm completely comfortable with it now.
Yeah. And I guess because we're of a similar age, you reach a point where you just stop giving a shit.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't give a shit. I
Yeah.
like wrestling. I like trashy B movies.
Absolutely.
I like fucking whatever music and dumb books and all of these real random as fuck things that happen, and you stop caring.
What a wonderful place to be.
Exactly.
And there's no way I could be like that, and even in my 30s.
Oh God, no.
I didn't really know myself until I was in my 40s.
Yep.
Which is probably true of most people, whether they realize it or not. I mean, I'm sure some get there a lot sooner, some a lot later. But part of the journey, eh?
Yeah. It's interesting, like that first 3 years, incredibly formative.
Yeah.
I had a very similar journey as you. I mean, I would VCR at home, but then I'd go to the video store and rent a lot of the old stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember at a point where, I'd go over to a mate's place on like SummerSlam, or I'd have people come around to my house at a Royal. I remember my first cat Daniel being put down the day of a Royal Rumble. I think it was the 1990 Royal Rumble.
Oh, good Royal Rumble.
Great Royal Rumble.
Bad day to be a cat.
Shit memory to associate it together. But I remember SummerSlam, the one with Mega Powers Explode.
Yes.
And I remember my mate Perry Nean doing a flying elbow off the top rope because he'd seen.
Can I pause you for a second?
Yes.
Is your mate's name Perineum?
Yeah.
Perineum.
Nean.
Okay, good. We've got that. That's sorted that.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 5. You're talking.
Yeah.
Right.
He climbed up on the top of his couch, and I was on the ground. We'd been play wrestling, and he did a flying elbow and shattered a bit of bone out of my elbow. And the doctors were like, "So we can see the bone in the X-ray, but we can't do anything about it."
And this is why wrestling came off the air.
It did.
Yeah.
But I didn't complain
because of people like you and your friend Perineum.
I told Mum and Dad to just shut up. I was like, leave me alone. It's fine. I've got a limited range of motion. But
I think we've all been there. I think we've all been there. We've all, at that age, we had...
Dumb shit.
Sean's had wrestling fights and wrestling matches.
Absolutely.
And the privacy of the home.
Yes,
yeah.
100%.
I threw do you throw a splash? Probably not. I launched...
Yep.
A Jimmy Superfly snooker splash.
Yep.
Which, you jump off the top. He jumps off the top rope, lands belly first.
Yep.
15
Who
foot
did you
down.
do that to?
Well, the intention was to do it on mattress. And we were doing it on this mattress, and it was going great guns.
Yeah.
And then we had this bright idea of, let's turn the lights off and do it. Do you think I hit the mattress? And the stupid thing is, I'm standing in front of, there's the mattress.
Yeah.
The lights go off. I'm like, all right, got it.
I'm going to turn 45 degrees.
Yeah. Knock on the door from the parents. And yeah, what was that? Nothing. Just a bit winded. Yeah.
Okay.
Never did it again.
Okay.
It was at a mate's house, so.
Right, okay. And, we were a lot more robust and indestructible back then. We weren't, but we certainly felt like we were.
Yeah.
I did a lot of dumb shit at that age.
That's youth.
And exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I remember my brakes crapping out on my bike.
Yeah.
So how did I stop myself?
Your forehead?
No, straight into a hedge. Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah, it was. Didn't have the same effect of like I'd seen some of the stuntmen do it and be like, yeah, I'll land gracefully. Walk out of it and be like, woohoo. I went, and I was like, not so graceful.
Not good.
Story of my life, not graceful. During that 5-year absence, where was your life sitting at that point?
So we're talking, what's that, 91 through, it's finishing school and beginning tech.
Yeah, right.
So, and early adulthood, I suppose, right? So...
are you still in Dargaville at this point, or have you...
I am, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I moved to Whangarei in 94.
Oh, wow.
So that would have been before I rediscovered wrestling. So,
Right.
I mean, I guess, parties and, alcoholic weekends and, working after school and finishing school and starting tech, all that sort of takes over, going to the nightclubs.
Yeah.
That sort of takes over and continues when I rediscover wrestling because it's just party life.
Absolutely.
So the move to Whangarei to follow study and follow a girl, as things turned out, or board with her and her family, which worked out pretty well. Didn't have to travel from Dargaville anymore.
Yep.
And had some kids.
Yeah.
So that worked out okay.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's so cool. And you guys are still together. Kids have grown up.
Yeah.
They're still at home.
They're both still at home.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
But you guys are absolutely amazing because you're the lesser statistic now of still being together.
Yeah, crazy, eh?
Yeah.
Sad.
Yes, it is. But it just goes to show how amazing it is.
Yeah.
You have good times and bad.
Yeah, of course.
Because it's like any relationship. I mean, I've got my brother, and we had moments where we would just walk past each other and yell "fuck you" in the hallway, and that would be it. But you come back together eventually.
Yeah,
because you're at different points in time.
Yeah, and I think most, and I had that sort of relationship with my sister. So she would beat me up, Mark. I will have you know, my sister Dion McCracken.
Hi, Joe.
I'll make sure she watches this because I know she's guilty.
Okay, let's hear it. Let's hear the story.
Both in feeling guilty and being guilty.
Okay, are we going to put an emotional guilt trip on her now?
Yeah.
Why not?
Well, she's had probably 30 some odd years of it.
Okay. What did she do?
Well, she was 3 years older than me, and I was an annoying little shit.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is probably fair.
Yeah.
Though I do remember one moment because she was older than me and bigger than me, so she could physically abuse me. Mark, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
But I do remember after I'd started Kempo Karate, and I thought it was really cool that you could like throw a punch and not hit a thing. So watch this, wham! Look how close I can come.
Yeah.
And I went to show her one day.
Yeah.
I said, look, I could pretend I'm going to punch you in the head, but I won't.
Yeah.
So as it turns out, at that point in time, my control wasn't as good as I thought.
Right. Okay.
So I did punch my sister in the head, accidentally.
But was it? Or would Freud
Yes,
say, this is for the years of abuse that I've taken from you?
It was an accident, Your Honor.
Joe? I would challenge what he's about to say right now. Accident. Yeah.
But then, of course, you know what she did. And again, very vivid memory, this.
Right, yes.
Straight to the parents. Guess what that boy did to me? I'm like, I wasn't trying to do anything. But
grounded?
You live and learn. I can't remember. Probably not. I'm the youngest.
Yeah.
It was probably her fault. Your head shouldn't have run into his fist.
Exactly.
This is your lot in life as an older parent, older sibling. So it's not my fault. It's law of the jungle.
It was the opposite way around in my house. I could get away with murder, and my brother was like, "Don't you fucking do that."
Really? Why is that? Why do you think you got away with it? Were you the oldest?
Yeah.
How did you do that?
It had its good and it has its positive and its negatives. So it had its positives because I was able to get away with fucking murder. had its negatives because, I ended up falling down quite a dark path. Yeah.
No boundaries, less boundaries.
Less boundaries, definitely. Whereas
Sure.
my brother, he got a business degree with honours. He got his fellowship in violin.
Wow.
He went and taught ESOL as a second language over in Korea. And what was funny is I was the, super smart, needs to apply himself. My brother was always is going to struggle his whole life. Wasn't as book smart, but he massively applied himself and just went straight over the top. He just killed it.
Wow.
And he's got quite an important job at the Wellington City Council. He does a lot of really interesting stuff. But it was one of those things where I had, what did the teacher say? He has natural talent, but I just squandered it. But that was all because I could get away with murder.
Yeah, interesting, hey?
Yeah. One I can remember is my brother and I, because we were both adopted, we always squabbled against each other. There was one time my brother took a garden mallet and tried to hit me in the head. So swung and missed. So I went into my room, locked my door. My brother's at my door trying to beat this door down. So my parents were back in the day, smacking was a thing. So he got smacked.
Yeah.
What they didn't know is that I'd already punched him in the head. So they didn't believe. Mum and Dad didn't believe it, and it was like, yeah, cool. That's why he came after me.
Yeah.
All they saw was the violence of the door, and we're like, yeah, that's cool.
And do you two get on pretty well now?
No.
Well enough?
Well, no, we had, it's funny, we ended up having a lot of common interests. Like music was probably the big one that we bonded over. I introduced him to some metal that he ended up really gravitating towards, and he kind of used some of that stuff that he was listening compositionally into a orchestral piece that he'd written. I was like, this is amazing. But
you were both adopted.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, what a wonderful gift that you have each other.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's been absolutely crazy, but it's interesting. Families, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Complicated and beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And always unique.
Always unique. Yeah.
Did Joe ever get into wrestling? Or was it not a thing for her? Did she try it and go, not quite me?
No, well, she would have moved out of the house by then.
Okay.
Yeah, but the family's always been really super supportive.
Yeah.
And not made me feel like this moron for
Pariah.
loving this thing. Oh, well, I wasn't going to say pariah. Those are your words.
Yeah, yeah. That's because that's how I was made to feel.
Yeah, super supportive. And if I interviewed Batista and we filmed it, we'd sit down and watch it as a family.
Wow.
Or if I promoted a couple of shows, one in particular in Auckland, the family all came. Mum and Dad travelled from Darwin to come and watch this event. So, yeah, always mega supportive. Probably a little bit like, I don't get it, but the kid's into it, so great.
Yeah.
Which is all you can ask in a family, right? Just you might not understand this thing that I'm into, but your support means a lot and is cherished.
And just because a family doesn't understand it right at that present point in time doesn't mean it will always be that way. Like they may go, oh, okay, well, I get it now.
Yeah, and I think I've got a buddy at work who is just discovering wrestling, and it's interesting watching him on the journey, going from here's a wrestling match which is two dudes doing moves, to here's a wrestling match, two dudes are doing these particular moves for this particular reason to tell this particular story. Yeah, I think it's a lot more nuanced. It's a good word.
I love that word. It's
a lot more nuanced than I think people understand, and it's cool. They don't need to. When I watched Shawshank Redemption, there are many nuances in filmmaking that I will never understand and I'll never get. Yet they may help me emotionally connect with something or understand something in a way that I don't understand. Yep, wrestling's the same.
And it's interesting you say that because wrestling is moves and psychology. Now, earlier you said you were unsure if you would class yourself as a creative, especially when I said, "Hey, you were creative." You started up NZPWI, is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
Now, what exactly? People will go, "Well, that's a bunch of letters." I know the first two are New Zealand, but what is NZWPI?
It was
PWI,
It
sorry.
is because it's still running.
Still going.
The New Zealand Pro Wrestling Informer, because we were there to inform people. I don't know why I threw the I in, but yeah, I think I started that in maybe '99, and that was a vehicle for me to learn how to create websites, because that was something I was interested in through our degree, and I thought it'd be cool if I can start something that's a little bit interesting, and I can learn this technology a little bit more deeply. And I was again getting more into wrestling again, so I thought I'd put the two together. And that's what we did. So I started NZPWI, and it started off with, here's some news and here are some results, and here's what's coming up on New Zealand television, and this home video's just come out. And then, I get phone calls from Sky TV saying, "Hey, do you want to co-host this pay-per-view preview show?"
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or saying, "Hey, we're thinking about buying this television product. Do you think that would be a great idea?" Yeah, absolutely. Or the promoters of the first WWE event in New Zealand saying, "Hey, can you sit around the table with us and figure out how we market this thing to New Zealand?"
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just a guy from Dargaville.
Yeah.
that knows a little bit about wrestling. So, but I guess that's the way of the world once you've got an audience, or it's perceived that you have the eyes and ears of people.
Yep.
That there's gravitas to that. And maybe there is. Maybe not always the case, but I'd like to think I kind of knew what I was talking about. So that's where the opportunities that I've been able to enjoy sort of started, including the New Zealand wrestling scene.
Great. That's an amazing segue.
Thank you.
I really appreciate that. So you created a website for wrestling, and then you were essentially a journalist for said website as well. So creative writing.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, it's not like you're going to sit there and just espouse nonsense.
Well, I mean, you're giving me a lot of credit. But okay.
Yeah. Because, you have to take something that you're passionate about and channel that passion somewhere, and you did. Now, the New Zealand wrestling scene had been thriving in the 70s and 80s, but had sort of come to a bit of a lull over a period. And then you kind of got back involved with it with a few key people. Yeah,
I mean, look, I certainly wasn't a pioneer.
No.
But I was there very early. So I believe On the Mat's last series on New Zealand television was either 1980, but I believe it was 1983. I might be wrong. Okay. Something like that. Early 80s.
Yeah.
Like you say, it died.
Yeah.
It probably died when Steve Rickard stopped being involved. I'd assume. I'm not a great New Zealand wrestling historian. There's many more people that know a lot more than I do.
Yeah.
So come 2001, 2002, I think it was, there was an event at the Basics Bar in Kumeu.
Okay, yep.
Which was run by Mania Pro Wrestling. So Mania was known as a women's sports fighting gym.
Okay.
Which was somewhere in Auckland. I can't recall exactly where it is, though I can see this big yellow banner. So I went along to this show. There were men on the card at that stage. I'll come back to that in a second. Yep. And there were people who you'd know very well. And Kingy, who was known as Johnny King back then. There were people like Heartless Alfred Valentine, who went on to win the first NZPWI Invitational. There was Daddy Cool. There was Alexander the Great. There was a guy called Darkside. There were many others.
Yeah.
And women wrestling on the card.
Yep.
Full bar. Really great event. Now, what I didn't know was how these guys managed to get to the point where they could put on a wrestling show.
Yeah.
Keeping in mind it was Mania or Mania Pro Wrestling at this stage. So the gym was run by a man named John. I can't remember his last name, who I believe sadly he's passed away since. And he taught women what he called sport fighting.
Okay.
I don't know what that looks like. So I believe it was a mix of legitimate martial arts, bit of amateur wrestling, and let's have a little bit of a play on it, professional wrestling.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact people involved in this conversation, but I believe it was probably Chuck Warner, who was known as the Machine.
Sense. Yeah.
Probably Alfred Vorderman, known as Heartless Alfred Valentine. Probably Kingy.
Yep.
Johnny King was his working name. Caleb Just, a very successful actor, becoming more and more successful as the years go on. And probably Nick Ferguson, who was known as Daddy Cool.
Yep.
Probably some others that I don't know of or can't remember. Went to John and said, look, we want to be professional wrestlers. There's no place for us to go. He says...
You?
No. Long before I'm involved.
Right, okay.
So these boys approach him and say, can you teach us how to wrestle?
Right.
Sorry, I teach women. Yeah, but can you teach us?
Yeah.
So they became involved. I believe at some stage they might have had a ring set up, maybe at like a big day out or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, wow.
As ringing a bell, which I think I might have seen as well, years and years and years ago, early 2000s. And yeah, it got to the point where the relationship became untenable. The boys broke away, a couple of girls broke away. They started Impact Pro Wrestling, which is still going to this day, which you and Sean frequent many a times, and I'm sure you can attest to how good the product is. So I think my first involvement was as a reporter for NZPWI.
Right.
I remember going to a show which was opposite, the McDonald's in Green Lane?
Yes.
I think directly opposite that diagonally is a small church.
Yes, there is.
Wrestling events held at the church.
Oh, wow.
So I think that might have been the first IPW show I went to.
Was that a Macca's at that point, or still a Georgie Pie?
Across the road?
Yeah, that would have Macca's.
I think it's always been a Macca's.
No, it was a Georgie Pie.
There you go. News to me.
Yeah. And the rumor that had always circulated throughout the years is McDonald's bought the Georgie Pie franchise for that one location.
Wow.
Yeah. It was super huge, massively popular.
Yeah. Well, it was a Macca's then. I can't remember. Rest in peace, Georgie Pie. How good are Georgie Pies?
I love it.
Yeah. So that was my sort of first involvement, and then from there led to somehow ending up in commentary and doing like a really bad job at trying to be like Bobby the Brain Heenan and writing down all these one-liners, which I thought were hilarious, but just weren't.
Of the time.
Yeah. And then realised, maybe just commentating as me, but just trying to be a little bit humorous here and there might be the way to go. As the colour guy.
Right, yes. Yeah.
As the colour guy. So, yeah, that was my involvement initially.
And then you transitioned from being a commentator into, like, you did a bit of reporting, but then you also got involved with, there was some WWE stuff as well. And then you became talent.
Yeah.
Not in ring. Well, a little bit of ring work. But you became... When did the title of New Zealand's winningest manager? Because that is the gold standard of Sir Mr. Burns is an amazing name.
Yes.
But New Zealand's winningest manager. When did Dion the manager sort of start stepping out from behind the scenes and becoming more...
Yeah, well, as a commentator for a few years,
okay,
which was a lot of fun. We'd always work Armageddons, which was great because there'd be international talent would be involved in that. I commentated with Raven at one stage. That was a bit of fun. Yeah. So we had an event. I was the general manager character, the commissioner of IPW, which from right here, Forum North Whangarei.
Oh, wow.
I was appointed commissioner of Impact Pro Wrestling in 2000 or whatever. I can't remember what year it was. And we had an event many years later at Westlake Boys High School.
Yep.
Now, this was a huge show because Vinnie Dunn, who was the one Vinnie Dunn back then, he defeated Ruben de Jong, 7 foot of Ruben de Jong, 150 kgs of granite. Yeah. Defeated him for the New Zealand Heavyweight Championship. There was a match later in the night where there was, I think it was a 5-on-5 match. It was Team IPW versus Team NZWPW, 5 guys from down in Wellington.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah.
I believe Te Tahi came out at one stage to help his fellow comrades. try and even the odds while they were being beaten down.
Right.
The deal Dale Knox's music hits.
Yep.
Dale Knox was a former New Zealand champion, very, very popular. He originated from Wellington, from WPW back in the day. He comes out, people are all excited. The deal Dale Knox has come. He's going to help Vinnie Dunn, who at this stage is now getting beaten down himself. Dale grabs a chair, begins to absolutely wail on Te Tahi, just beating the snot out of this guy. And no, the chairs aren't fake. And Vinny will attest to the fact that the chairs are not to this day. To this day, he'll talk about that beating that he legitimately took. I come to the ring as a commissioner. What are we doing here? Who was the referee? Rob Gainey was the referee.
Right. Okay. Yep.
Who was what was your working name? It wasn't Rob Gainey. It'll come to me.
Yep.
Even referees have names.
Yep.
I lay out the referee.
Yeah.
I grab his referee's shirt. I put it on.
Yeah.
Dale hits his finishing move. 1, 2, 3. We're off to the races. We start a program of 2 or 3 years of Dale being the champ and me being the corrupt figurehead of the company. Yeah. And man, we had some fun. We had incredible chemistry, Dale and I, and we'd spend half the time just cracking ourselves up. But incredible worker. Some of the best matches in New Zealand professional wrestling. And in that period, we're now getting to the point where these guys that started the company were 4, 5, 6, 7 years into their career, albeit one show a month. Yeah. Yep. And doing incredibly well, putting on very good shows to crowds of 200 or 300 people. Yep. Which doesn't sound a lot, but in the realms of independent professional wrestling, even globally, it's actually not too bad. Yeah.
Wrestling is. So as a parent who has a child that is massively into wrestling and has been very accepted by the New Zealand wrestling community, it's interesting to kind of see some of the workings behind it. Yeah. I think let's say 90% of people know that not wrestling's fake, but the endings themselves are predetermined, right? Yeah, and they have what they call bookers. And bookers will kind of help the wrestlers structure out a match somewhat. Yes. Were you ever involved in that sort of level of things?
Yeah, loosely.
Right.
Yeah, okay. So there were 2 events that I promoted back to back, 2006, 2007. The NZPWI Invitational. Yep. So I put on these 2 shows, sold the rights to Sky TV. Wow. Independently filmed, had tremendous help behind the scenes. A guy called Adam Simpson, who is quite a New Zealand wrestling historian himself, based down in Wellington, works for TVNZ. He did the editing of the first show. He and a number of others helped get it off the ground. The point was, without being a dick, the point of it all was, we've got wrestlers around the country that can work together. It'd be kind of cool if we do that more. Yeah. B, to me, and as I'm saying this, now I'm going, actually, I think I am creative. Putting together the look and feel of the show. Yep. Because I look back at a SummerSlam 88 or a WrestleMania 5, and it's the layout of the arena. Yes. It's the banners. Yes. It's the ring gear that the people are wearing. All that stuff that contributes to it. It's not about clotheslines and body slams. No. It's the presentation. Yes. So a lot of it was about the presentation. I think we can do a better job. So I'm going to put on this independent wrestling event. Yep. Not to take over. Yep. But just to go, can we do a bit more of that? I don't want to do this week in, week out, but can we do a bit more of that? Yeah. So the format was an 8-man single elimination tournament. Heartless Alfred Valentine was the winner the first year. We had a battle royal, which I called the NZPWI Eliminator.
Is that where it comes from?
Maybe.
Wow.
So it was a 20-man battle, like a Royal Rumble format. Get to the last 2, and then it's a one-on-one match until there's a pinfall. So the question was booking. So when it came to booking, here are the 8 people in the tournament. Yep. Here's who I want to win. Filter. This match I want to be a DQ for these reasons. You guys figure it out. You know how to put on a wrestling match. I don't.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Yeah.
And then with the Battle Royal, the Eliminator, and this was both years, it was a case of, here are the last two that I want to see.
Mm-hmm.
This is the one that I think should win.
Yep.
Here's a thing that I'd like to see go down.
Right.
You book the rest. Troy Rafferty Forbes.
Okay.
Okay. So, or known as Superstar Troy Daniels. So he booked that and did a great job, because Battle Royals they're tough to book. Because there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
It's not as simple as a linear professional wrestling match between two people. It's 20 people. You get eliminated by this person after them, but be careful, because then this guy comes in. So you've got to lay low, because then when he comes in, he's got to interact with him, and then you could.
Yeah,
it's very complicated.
And it's you have the opportunity to set up storylines and like pay off things that have happened in the past as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So we did that
Complex.
2 years. Yeah, very much so. We did that 2 years. The first one was great success.
Yeah.
So we sold about 500 tickets.
Wow.
We got sponsorship from like the bloody Sunday News and all sorts of places. We had Johnny King and Heartless Alfred Valentine appearing on Breakfast TV with Paul Henry, and Kingy nailed Heartless with a chair shot live on New Zealand Breakfast Television. I've got the clip somewhere.
Yeah.
And then the following year we did it at Forum North.
Yep.
The production was much, much better. I was really, really happy with the production side of things. It was a great event. That one was won by Kingy.
Mm-hmm.
He defeated a guy by the name of Cruz, who was based in Australia, a Kiwi wrestler based in Australia. And we sold that to Sky, and it aired after WWE Raw on Sky One.
Wow.
Or the box, whatever it was called.
You're pushing so much traffic.
Yeah. And we did get word of the ratings. And of course, these things drop off because it's not WWE.
Yeah.
But it started really well, and there was some pretty good traction throughout.
Yeah.
It's like a 2-hour show starting at 10:30 at night. So that's something that I'm really proud of. Again, a lot of people that helped massively to get that on air. And it was a huge moment. I do remember at the end of the second show, there was a real buzz backstage, and I come back, and the wrestlers were chanting my name, and I stopped them, and no, and I changed the chant to NZ Wrestling or whatever it was,
right? Yeah,
because it's a sum of the parts,
right?
But that was the last one. There was some political shit that ended up going down, which I'm actually not terribly comfortable talking about on air. I'll fill you in off air. A lot of people know about it. But it's something that rubbed me the wrong way, and it just became untenable for many years for the companies to work together. And I was like, I don't want to be involved in the bullshit.
Yep. Yeah.
And the shows broke even. I didn't lose money. That was the main thing.
Yep, that's
as long
cool.
as I didn't lose money.
Yep.
And it didn't. So yeah, that was something I'm hugely proud of, and I can't believe it was 20 years ago. Yeah, it's insane. It was 20 years ago. Although I will tell you one more thing.
Please.
There have been a couple of current professional wrestlers that have come to me and said, I got into wrestling. I got into New Zealand wrestling after I watched the Invitational on TV.
Wow.
Like, what?
That's crazy.
I'm like, well, I've known you for 7 years, and this is the first I've heard. And like, gives me the goosebumps, and so proud to hear that.
Yeah.
And, like, you watched that. People watched that.
Far out.
Yeah. So that's really cool. Yeah.
And you were involved quite heavily in the New Zealand wrestling scene for a number of years. And then you sort of started deciding to take a little bit of a lesser role.
Yeah. I think what that is.
I was going to ask you, is there like a reasoning for that?
Yeah, there is. I think when you first get into these things, there's a huge mateship.
Yeah, right.
About being with your peers and putting on these shows, which I'm sure will be much the same with musicians and dancers and all sorts of creative fields, the ones that aren't a solo performance or
like a painter.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. And I equate it to playing cricket.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I love playing cricket. Wanted to be a black cap one day.
Yes, you did.
And I still play cricket. I will stop playing cricket when it's when the team that I'm with are no longer some of my best mates.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Just realize how that's kind of sounded. Now, I'm not saying the people that I'm involved with in the current scene aren't like that.
Yep.
Very friendly with them. Huge respect for them.
Yep.
Massively talented. Love hanging out with them.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the younger ones are still amongst my very best friends.
Yeah.
But it's just different because when you've had these people that you've kind of grown up with.
Yes.
And you've almost, I guess, been through the trenches with.
You've developed the scene together, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Because none of them are active anymore.
Yep.
Well, that's not true. Kingy is active.
Okay.
I believe that's it.
Wow.
Sir Mr. Burns came along, who used to write for NZPWI back in the day.
Did he really?
Yeah, he absolutely did.
Far out.
He came along very soon after, so he'd be very close. Vinny came along in I think 05 or something like that. He commentated the first NZPWA Invitational with me, much to his disgust.
Oh, right, okay.
Because if you're a wrestler, you don't want to be commentating.
You want to
be in the ring. But as you know, that man's got the gift of the gab.
He does.
Yeah. So I guess sometimes it becomes if it becomes a chore.
Yeah.
And it's not as much fun, then I think you got to step away and wait for the passion to come back. And it does from time to time.
Yep.
And I'm like, man, if I can be helpful and there's the right storyline, sign me up. When the petrol prices go down.
When it's affordable. Because it's a 2.5 hour drive.
Yeah.
Down to Auckland
and I love
and
it.
then back.
And look, my kids will forever have memories of going to wrestling shows.
Yeah.
And hanging out backstage and being, mates with the wrestlers. And I believe that was an important part of their childhood. I think they really enjoyed it. And it was great us time because we drive 2.5 hours to Auckland and, have late night snacks from
the BP.
Yeah. All that sort of
and
stuff.
And they fall asleep in the car for the rest of it.
Totally.
Yeah.
So professional.
So
professional wrestling has given me much more than professional wrestling.
Yeah.
It's given me the greatest friends that I have in my life.
Yeah.
And it's given me some incredible memories. It's given me some amazing opportunities. It's much more than the show.
To quote a great song from the movie Top Gun, had you lost that lovin' feeling?
Maybe.
And it's okay to say because you can lose a little bit.
Yeah,
I don't know. Or you
know.
could have lost like more than you'd thought.
Yeah, well, I think it's like I think it's more. You know what it's like as the older you get, the more shit you got to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you got to figure out what can I drop to stay sane.
Yep. Yeah.
So I think it was more about that I think I have to drop this, even though it's like, once a month or whatever. It's one more thing.
Yeah, right.
And it was probably, jeepers, before COVID times, I imagine. So I won't use COVID as an excuse. So, but there's been times where I'm like, well, I've got to drop cricket. I can't do this anymore. I've got to drop taekwondo.
Yeah.
I can't do this anymore. Yeah. So you just make that decision. I will get back into it.
Yeah.
Because despite the million things I've been fortunate enough to do in professional wrestling, being a manager ringside in front of a New Zealand audience is like the funnest thing.
Oh, yes.
Because you can be a cock.
Yes, you can.
And have the greatest time.
You can.
And there is nothing... Mark, I've been beaten up a number of times in a professional wrestling ring. I've been kicked in the balls.
Yes.
I've been put in a Jujigatama cross arm breaker.
Yes.
I've been thrown over the top rope. I've been punched. I've been kicked.
You took a clothesline from Brutus the Barber Beefcake?
Got
laid out from him.
That was a big right hand.
Yep, big right hand. Yep.
I can tell you about that. Every time that happens, and the crowd pops.
Yep. Oh, the explosion. I still remember to this day when Sean and I would come down and you got called out because the person you were managing at the time, Megan Kate, wonderful wrestler,
Yes.
incredibly gifted, an amazing character,
Yeah.
had decided to not turn up for whatever reason, injury or something along those lines.
Yeah.
And I still remember the person that she was meant to be wrestling against, Frankie Quinn, firmly kicking you in the dick. And
Square, I think it was square in the dick.
that was, and
And a
the
little bit
crowd
of balls.
collectively lost their minds.
Yes.
And one of the greatest yelling, screaming moments that I think was of the night.
Yeah. And that's the point.
Yeah.
And if they go, oh, what's next?
Yeah.
Then you've done a bad job.
Yeah.
If they pop, you've made them hate you in that split second. Even though we all suspend disbelief, except for that one guy that comes along that I'm pretty sure thinks everything's real and probably wants to get a bit stabby.
Yes, the one with the authenticated belt.
Yes.
Yes, we know the one.
Yeah. He doesn't have...
Not sweet guy.
Lovely.
Charming disposition of a 12-year-old.
Mm.
But looks like it'd shank you. Yes.
That's correct.
Yes.
I forget what we were saying. Yeah. So that's the point. When they pop and they give a shit that you got beaten up because you did such a good job of being an asshole.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the point. So literally the amount of times I've been taken out and I'm lying on the ground and they're really popping, I'm lying there smiling going, yes. Yeah, okay, we did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the point. This is, what you're after.
Now, you also earlier talked about time with WWE. That's as someone who's grown up in small towns, and you growing up in a small town yourself. How do you go from? How does your brain reconcile Dargaville to going over to Australia and doing work for WWE? Because they are polar, and I mean polar opposites apart, worlds apart.
I mean, Dargaville's pretty great.
It is, but let's be honest, a big WWE crowd can be the size of Dargaville.
Mark, a small WWE crowd can be the size of Dargaville. Let's be honest.
I was being generous for Dargaville.
I appreciate it. Yeah. I mean, you don't. I don't think. I don't equate the two, of course. But yeah, it's pretty nuts. Like if I do sit there and kind of think about.
Yeah.
If I think about 14-year-old Dion.
Yes.
Was that 14? It was 13.
13, 14.
WWE first came on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah.
And it's not the same WWE.
No.
I'm not downplaying it, but it's not the same WWE that it was when Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage and Jake the Snake and Rick Rude and Andre the Giant, all these guys were there, but it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was an amazing opportunity with some incredible memories, where I'm contracting for a friend of mine who has that contract for PR, marketing, social media.
Yeah.
In Australasia, and gave me a call and said, hey, I need someone in New Zealand. Are you keen? I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Is that one of those moments where you kind of have to pinch yourself? Is there any part of you that is going, suddenly I feel a bit of imposter syndrome? Or are you like, I'm ready for this? This is my moment.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I had imposter syndrome, but the things that we were tasked at doing, I wasn't trained in doing, and you kind of just figured it out. It wasn't terribly difficult. It was assisting with social media posts or engaging with New Zealand media to say, hey, we've got this guy, Drew McIntyre, available for an interview.
Yep.
He's going for the WWE Championship and blah, 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 and getting all that stuff across the line. Now, promoting WWE is a lot easier than promoting New Zealand professional wrestling. You contact The Rock FM or My FM or whoever, they're much more likely to say, yeah, we'd love to.
Yeah.
Than saying, hey, we've got a show on at the community hall and we're expecting about 78 people there. Are you keen to get on board? No, thanks.
Yeah, might be a hard pass this week.
Yeah, a little bit trickier.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and we did a tremendous job for WWE in promoting the product in Australasia. We're getting posts on the WWE Facebook page, albeit geo-targeted, wishing New Zealanders a happy Waitangi Day.
Right,
Or having Sheamus wear a Warriors jersey.
Yeah,
and, I wrote a script for Sheamus once, which had the phrase, let's go on Warriors, which of course was a cultural phenomenon.
Yep.
However many years ago. And in the notes having to say, Let's Go On Warriors, it's not a typo. Here's the backstory. People will lose their minds if Seamus says it. And it was awesome. He owned this thing. Let's Go On Warriors!
Yeah.
So being involved in all that side of things. And then when WWE come to New Zealand or Australia, being able to host meet and greets or, interview wrestlers, being involved in the logistics and the setup, and essentially being treated as an internal employee of WWE, being involved in weekly calls and all that sort of stuff. Interesting watching from the inside.
Yeah.
Some incredible opportunities. Some bits where I did make a muppet of myself because I'm a human. Here's one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, go on.
Seth Rollins.
Yep. Seth freaking Rollins.
Yep. So we were in a hotel in Sydney. It was the night after the show that took place there. I'm taking down, those pull-up banners.
Yeah.
I'm trying to carry like 6 of these things. I load them into the lift, and lift starts going down, stops on a certain floor, bing, doors open, and it's Seth freaking Rollins.
Yep.
In my mind, I'm on the ground floor. And I said to him, whatever I said to him, hey man, great match last night. I don't know what I said. And I said, oh look, sorry, I'm going to be a little bit, I've got to take all of these off the elevator. And verbatim, he said, then I will help you. I said, thank you,
Wow.
Seth freaking Rollins. So we unload all of these pull-up banners. Hey, I say, flight, see you next time.
Yeah.
Love your work. He hops in the elevator. I step off the elevator. I'm not on the ground floor.
Of course
He's just come from breakfast on floor 1.
Yep.
I look over the balcony. He's now on the ground floor. What do I have to do, Mark? I have to wait for Seth freaking Rollins to leave. Otherwise, I'm loading all of these things back on the elevator, going back down, going out, saying, sorry, I got off on the wrong floor. But I do appreciate your help. Yeah, there are a few of those. But being in the arena during the setup of Super Showdown at Melbourne Cricket Ground.
Wow. Yeah.
Getting to meet Triple H when he was doing some media there. And, I've met plenty of world champions, current, former, interviewed them, but he's got a very big presence about him. So some very good memories. There's one other real quick one.
Yeah, go for gold.
Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre.
Right. Yep.
We were at I think it's Amy Park in Melbourne. I think it was the same year, the Super Showdown year. And there were a few talent there it was the exact same year. There were a few talent there doing interviews. ESPN Australia were there. Part of my role when people were on ground is you're kind of looking after the talent in terms of getting them to the media and hanging around and making sure the media don't say things like, it's fake, right?
Yeah, right.
And then stepping and saying, okay, we're done, which I never had to do, thankfully.
Yeah.
So when ESPN were ready, I went over to Dolph Ziggler, who I'd interviewed a few years before. He wouldn't remember me. He's probably done about 80,000 interviews since then. Yeah. Drew McIntyre said, hey guys, you ready to speak with ESPN? Absolutely. I take them over to ESPN. I introduce Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre, two of the world's most famous professional wrestlers, to the ESPN reporter. The words that came out of my mouth and the gesture that came out of my hands were backwards. So I look at Drew McIntyre and I say to the ESPN guy, here's Dolph Ziggler. And then I look at Dolph Ziggler and say, and Drew McIntyre. And I'll leave you guys to it. Fired on the spot. No, not true.
Thinking about your time with do you still contract with?
No.
Okay. Thinking about your time with WWE, is there kind of one moment that you're like, this becomes a core memory, not just like a regular memory, but one of those core memories? And if you can share it, please do. If you can't, that's fine.
There's so many. There's so many. But I think interviewing them was always most interesting to me.
Yeah.
Interviewing AJ Styles the day of his match with John Cena, which I think may have been the last WWE show to take place in New Zealand, maybe. There might have been one or two afterwards. But interviewing him and setting him up for his line and him,
Oh, wow.
Taking the cue.
Yeah.
Because at the time, one of his catchphrases was like, there are I love, there's nothing in the world I love more than beating up John Cena.
Yeah.
But he'd be like, beat up John Cena? Like, he'd make a real big deal of it.
Yeah.
So I think I said to him something like, hey, so you're here in Auckland, and while you're here, will you do your most favorite thing in the world? And he's like, oh, what do you mean? I said, your most favorite thing in the world. And he's like, beat up John Cena. Yeah, it's great. So yeah, interviewing him and Sasha Banks at like a Westfield down there, and the New Day and the Bella Twins in Australia, and I believe we did really great jobs.
Yeah.
For WWE, because for those meet and greets, which are usually, hey, here's a wrestler, hi, looking forward to seeing you at X Stadium at Y time.
Yeah.
Come and get a photo. Bye.
Yeah.
We would put on events. So we interviewed the New Day. We had fans coming up doing like pancake eating contests.
Oh,
and
wow.
we had like 3 rounds of different games, shake your booty to their music, and they would judge, and we had like the 2 New Day guys, they were kind of opposing teams, and it was for the King of Sydney. Whoever wins would be the King of Sydney sort of thing. Those were always immensely fun. But then, shoot, you're hanging backstage and you're in catering, and The Undertaker's over there, and Ronda Rousey's over there, and you're professional. You can't be a bloody fanboy, even though inside you're like, shit, I can't believe this is happening.
Yeah.
And of course there's part of you that's Mark.
Yeah.
But you can't run up and go, hey, can I get a photo with you? But just being around that and being like, shit, I can't believe this is happening.
Yeah.
Was pretty cool.
You talked about like having the opportunity to actually be in front of the crowd, and you said if you do your job right, you get a decent pop.
Yeah.
It's kind of a nice segue into the podcast that you started, which is called That Sweet Pop.
Yeah.
Is that kind of where the name came from?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah. It is very difficult, as you well know, to come up with any form of unique name.
Yep.
I can't tell you the amount of water that I wasted on AI, because water is required for calling.
It is, yes.
AI and every query, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Trying to find a name and then saying, great, I love that name. Tell me if it's used anywhere. No, Dion, that's not used anywhere. I searched. There's 12 of those.
Yeah.
Thank you, AI.
Yeah.
So we finally found one. But yeah, it is about hearing that sweet pop.
What wanted you to start the podcast?
I think I did need a little bit of a creative outlet.
Yeah.
I have no time in my life, so why would I do it? It's kind of silly, but I think there was something that I needed. I think I missed being somewhat of an authority.
Right. Okay.
So I think there's a bit of selfishness and ego in there, if I'm completely honest with you.
Yeah, I appreciate
This
it.
isn't going anywhere, is it?
No.
Great.
I mean, 264 people will see it, and that's about it.
But they're all lovely.
They're
And they'll all
amazing
keep
people.
tight-lipped. They'll get it. I'm only human.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I think there was a little bit of that would be like, hey, it'd be kind of nice to be in that position again, where if someone needs a comment, I'm the one they get hold of.
Right, yeah.
So I believe there's a bit of that. That being said, I started with my buddy Brad Lewis.
Yep.
Brad, who is a huge wrestling fan, an absolute encyclopedia, has got some incredible takes. Who, when I contracted for WWE, we arranged for him to fly to New York to cover WrestleMania 35 for News Hub.
Oh, wow.
And I'd just been to WrestleMania 41.
Yep.
Just a year and a bit ago in Vegas. And I was driving with the family from LA to San Diego, and I was like, I could start a podcast with Brad. And in that drive, and I was paying attention to the road, I'll have you know, you must, driving on US freeways.
Yep.
By the time I got to our destination, I jumped on my phone and I wrote a message about that long to Brad, thinking he'd be like, I don't have time,
Yeah,
to
yeah,
do
yeah.
that. It'd be crazy. And quick as a flash, he's like, dude, I'd love to. That'd be amazing.
Yep.
Yeah. So we got into it. So my point being, I get to talk about wrestling with my buddy.
Mm.
And I think over the year or so that we've done it, we're coming up to a year. I think it's helped me in a couple of ways. I think I'm pretty articulate. I think I'm a pretty good communicator.
Yep.
If I do say so myself.
Yeah, and that's because you are.
Thank you. I think it's helped me articulate my thoughts more clearly because I have to think before I speak.
Yep.
I'm well aware that I'm a personality type that is a pessimist and is an optimist, can sit on the fence. I can see your point, but I can see your point.
Yep.
And you're both correct for these reasons.
Yep.
I think it's helped me pick a lane. In that, at least.
Okay.
I don't know if it helps me pick a lane because I actually think it's a virtue of mine, if I'm honest.
Yep.
I'm proud that I'm that way. That it's not. No, he's absolutely right.
Yeah, right.
That I can see both and hopefully form an opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's helped with that. And more recently, bringing on Courtney Coburn, who's a big creator on the TikTok machine. Sean, is it called the TikTok machine? Is that what the kids call it? It's a TikTok machine?
He doesn't have TikTok.
Yeah, but he'll hear the kids talking about it. I believe it's called the TikTokmachine.com.
Tiki-toki? That's what the old people say.
The TikTokmachine.com.
Yes.
So
sense.
bringing in Court, who has followed wrestling for 20 odd years, but comes in from a completely different angle as well. And I think now that we've got the three of us, I think we're hitting a little bit of a groove, and I'm taking it less seriously.
Yeah.
And it's so much better for it because now we're just three mates just yarning.
When you started off, and have you sort of looked at the evolution of podcast over the year? Because like when you started off, long format interviews and then like bite-sized chunks.
Yeah.
Your first one was Hinade, which was just straight out of the gate. Amazing. It's like launching a new podcast. By the way, here is New Zealand's one of New Zealand's biggest wrestling exports ever.
Yeah.
Just because we can. And then because it's a Friday. And then you kind of have a series, you have this incredible run of these amazing long form podcasts. The content seems to have shifted from that a little bit. Is there a particular reason for that, or is that sort of been boasted by the introduction of Courts into the team, and it kind of becomes like someone might have a hot take and then there's like debate amongst...
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think you're partially right.
Okay.
The format has changed. Remembering I don't know what I'm doing, but nobody does.
You make shit up as you go.
Yeah. So I did have this vision in my head because I'm a creative.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had like a vision in my head of how it looks like, and I'm also I'm OCD, as you'll attest to from time to time. So if the format is this, that is how the format stays.
Yep.
And when I die, that will be the format.
Right.
But long form content is hard.
Yes.
I don't watch long form content.
Yep.
From start to finish, very rarely.
Yep.
So we still have the long form content, and the episodes on YouTube are the golden goose that we want to drive people towards.
Yep.
But clipping is where it's at.
Yeah.
Right. So TikTok, Insta,
Reels,
Facebook, YouTube Shorts.
Yeah.
That's where it's at. How we had changed is we removed the interviews. Largely because of logistics. It was getting too tricky.
Yeah.
So it's much easier for us to get together and say, we're going to bang out an hour and a half of filming.
Yep.
And hopefully we can go woe to go and not have to clip too much out.
Yeah. Then you can slice and dice till the cows come home.
Slice and dice.
Yeah.
So we'll still do interviews. They'll be less often. They'll be like their own episodes.
Yep.
And my goal is to get to the point that Chris Van Vliet is amazing.
Yeah.
So for people that don't know him, he is the authority on professional wrestling interviews. He was the guy that probably got his foot in the door before anyone else.
Yeah.
Even though he'd been in media for quite some time. So he's the guy. So we're not expecting that we'll ever get to that point.
Yeah.
Certainly because we've got distance. But what we do have going for us is distance.
Yeah. Yep.
Because weather podcasts in New Zealand. There's a couple in Aussie which are very good as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're friendly with a couple of those crews. So it'd be great to get to the point where outside of in Australasia,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
we're known as this is the wrestling podcast.
Yeah.
This is where we will we WWE will direct some of our talent when we want to promote XYZ show or whatever it looks like. So we want to get to the point. Sorry, I keep pumping the mic. We want to get to the point where we probably do one high profile interview with an international star every month.
Right.
We've got 3 in the bank right now. We've released just 1.
Oh, wicked. Okay.
We have more coming.
Yep.
So we're starting to get some traction, and I think you get a bit of street cred with that stuff, as I know from the other side of the coin.
Yeah.
Because where there's an audience, there is desire to get in front of that audience.
Yep.
So
absolutely.
that's what we're trying to build. Yeah, you build followers. The opportunities come. Yeah.
What does the next 12 months look like for the podcast?
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't know in a good way, in that I'm getting more. Maybe this is something else I'm getting out of it. I'm getting a bit more flexible.
Right. Well, that's
But,
interesting for a person with OCD.
Yeah. Sorry, is that straight?
No,
I'm not
you're
sure that
right.
that's
It's fine.
straight.
It's all good. It's all good.
I
Perfectly
think we're in a good.
straight.
I think we've found our groove.
Yeah.
We've got a good format. Court has been a massively welcome addition. It helps with us getting differing opinions, because sometimes Brad and I would be like, "Yeah, completely agree." It's not always exciting to listen to.
That's the end of the podcast.
Pretty
2 minutes.
much. Yeah.
Great match. And thanks for watching.
Yeah. So I think we've found a groove. We'll change the format if we feel like something's not working. We'll get these interviews as we can. Some will be over, the interwebs. Some will be in person. Interviewing is where it's at. Like this is as interesting as listening to people's opinions on the thing that you love.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah, and like it's we've been doing this for, well, by the time this podcast comes out, it'll be nearly 4.5 years.
Wow. How's your interview style changed in that time?
I'm more comfortable with uncertainty.
Right.
So when we started, it was never about 20 questions, and it was always about sitting down and just talking to the people for the sake of talking. But understanding that everyone that you talk with is different.
Yeah.
So going, cool, I have no idea where this podcast will go. And I say that quite openly. Where it ends up is wherever it ends up.
Yeah.
There's 4 key points that I 3 at least, but if I can hit all 4, then gold. Other than that, how we get there is entirely up to the person. But in the early stages, if I go back and watch my first one, I sit there and go,
yeah,
cringe.
I think that's a good thing.
It is. You become self-aware.
Well, and it's evolution.
Yeah.
And it's growth. But I think, because I'll be the same, I don't want to watch our first podcast.
No.
I don't want to see it, albeit, Henare is amazing.
Yes.
And so articulate, and a guy that I'm incredibly proud of for where,
definitely.
Where he's gone. But I'll be unhappy with the production. I'll be unhappy with the lighting, with the edit, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And I think, and I'm going to be honest with you, I think I've just come to this realization as you were speaking.
Yeah.
That's good.
It is.
You don't want to look back and go, that was great, because then is now actually great.
Yeah.
Knows the answer.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm going to look back at this point in a year's time and go, oh my God, we were doing what?
Yeah. You don't want to go, first one, that was the peak. That was the best I'll ever be.
Totally.
And
by the way, I also admire the way that you interview, because I could never. I was recently in Australia. I went to Melbourne for a couple of shows, World Series Wrestling, coming to New Zealand Thursday, October 29th.
Yes, they are. Amazing card. Definitely check it out.
Amazing. Yeah. And it's going to get better. I'll tell you that for a fact.
Outstanding. Yes, Sean, I'll look at tickets.
Get tickets, please. And there were 4 or 5 wrestlers that I had the potential of interviewing.
Yeah.
I can't just walk in and interview them. I've got to prep. I've got to write questions.
Really?
Absolutely. You and I could have a conversation like this. I could interview you, and maybe it's because I know you, or maybe because there's less pressure you and I talking than me being in front of a world famous professional wrestler and shitting the bed.
Yep.
I don't mind if I shit the bed against you, and we won't run out of things to talk about.
Yeah,
But I
absolutely.
could with a professional wrestler when I'm like, So yeah, I could never. So my point being, I was in Australia in my hotel room, over preparing, having 3 or 4 pages worth of notes, and using like 2 of them. And I'm glad I did prep because I thought there's some pretty good questions in there. And like what you do get comfortable with the subject saying something and then going, oh, that leads into something really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like that, but I got to prepare.
Thank you for. I guess my interview style kind of came out of more necessity and a genuine interest in people. And I'll reference a previous podcast that we've had, and it was a writer that said it, and it's very true. There are 2 types of people when they come to creativity. There's planners and pantsers.
Right.
A planner is someone that will, and we were talking about this in a literary sense, they will like sit down like almost with a whiteboard and methodically plan out everything that's going to happen in the book. You know, they'll write all the beats and what they need to hit and da-da-da-da-da. But you've got the pantsers that literally just fly by the seat of their pants and make shit up as they go. And I hadn't figured it out when that happened. But once I heard that, I was like, well, I do probably 20% planning, but I'm probably 80% pantser. And that's why I was able to get a lot more comfortable with my interviewing style because, and I think once you sort of have that realization, it just gets easy because you stop putting the pressure on yourself.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm clearly 80% planner and 20% pantser, but it's the 80-20 rule.
Yeah, exactly. It is, you know. And you know, the day I found out that you were releasing a podcast was hilarious because that was the passing of Hulk Hogan.
Yes.
And you had been obviously someone from
New Zealand Herald
had reached out to you and said, hey, we've heard this, you know, and you had a piece on TV and it was like, blah, 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 and you're so clear and articulate about all of your memories of Hulk Hogan and growing up and all of that sort of stuff. And then at the end, it was like, you know, your new podcast, That Sweet Pop. And I was like, motherfucker, what? And I think I almost messaged you straight away saying,
I think you did.
What is this? And you were like, cat's out of the bag now.
Yeah.
I was like, no shit, at a national level.
Yeah. And we'd been planning for months.
Yeah.
Took a month to find a name, thanks ChatGPT. But kind of forced us to
and it's funny together. How there's so much work that goes in the background. Like myself and producer Andrew, who we kind of started this whole thing, we had probably spent the better part of 9 months putting it all together. And out of that 9 months, probably 4 or 5 of those months was me after work coming home and just grabbing as much information as I could because there wasn't a vast depth of knowledge about what equipment you should use and software and editing styles and techniques and microphones and all of that sort of stuff. It wasn't as abundant as it is now.
Yeah.
You know, there wasn't the Rode ecosystem where it was like in a box, do a podcast. There was nothing like Riverside.fm or anything along those lines. You kind of had to figure it out as you go. And you know, there was countless hours where I was sitting up until 1, 2, 3 in the morning going, fuck, you know, what am I doing? You know, I got to figure this out. But then I remember when producer Andrew came back into the studio after that period of time, it's not too dissimilar from what it was now.
Right.
And everything was here, rearing to go. And I was like, can you do this? And he goes, I've never seen half of this shit before. And I was like, cool, that's your job.
Yeah.
My job's pretty much done.
Oh, how good. I think you got to get to the point where this stuff, and this is a realization I came to, I don't know, a few months in. I don't think it's helpful to do anything like this with the intention of success.
Yep.
Or the intention of hitting specific metrics.
Yep.
I think you have to do it because you enjoy doing it, for the love of the game, and the rest is whatever.
Yep.
I think to begin with, I'm like, 67 people watch this episode. That's awesome. I'm
Yeah.
like, if we only get to 100, that'll be amazing.
Yep.
And, from time to time we do, much better numbers than that now. But it's more about getting together, much like this is, just two humans having a chat.
Yep.
Me getting together with a couple of good mates and talking about this thing we're passionate about. And if people want to listen, awesome.
Yep.
And if they don't, that's cool as well,
Yeah.
because it's still fun. And that's why it still blows me away when I get a random message from someone who listens to the pod. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
People listen.
Yep.
I got an email from my lawnmower guy
Wow.
the other week.
Yeah.
And we were talking about lawn mowing stuff,
Yes.
mowing lawns and stuff.
Absolutely.
He said, big fan of the pod. I have had one real life, conversation with this guy in my life, but there's been heaps of those things. People reach out, people send emails and say, hey, I discovered your pod. It's been so good, sort of going down memory lane and listening to Kiwis talk about wrestling.
Yep.
And listen every single week. You guys doing that's such a great feeling.
Yep.
But that's not what you do it for. But now it's not what I do it for. Before it was like, I want to hit this. This is my subscription goal.
Right. Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Now it's much more like easygoing and
it was the same for us when we first started as well. And once I had come to the realization that we were a podcast about artistic people in Northland, New Zealand, then you go, well, gee, that's an awfully small demographic. I'm never going to hit whatever the YouTube metrics to get paid and Spotify metrics are to get paid.
Yeah.
As soon as you can let that go, you can kind of go, I don't care.
Yeah, totally. I think that's a great place to be.
Love of it.
Yeah. Great place to be.
Cool. Thank you so much for coming in and sitting down with us, man.
You're
This has
welcome,
been an absolute blast. And it's kind of cool to get your... Well, it's always good to sit down with like another creative person that does a podcast. You're the second, but it's so fascinating to hear it from a different perspective. And also, if people watch this, they will see your love of professional wrestling.
Well, let me tell you one thing.
Sure.
I've been very fortunate to have had the opportunity to travel for wrestling and spend way too much money. It's getting much more expensive.
Yes, it is.
With a very supportive wife.
Yep.
Because it takes two to tango, and I can't just dip into the savings fund. I've been to 8 WrestleManias.
Yeah.
When I'm sitting in that stadium with what I call 50 to 80,000 of my closest friends,
Yeah.
watching this product that I have been enamored with for all these years, there's nothing like it.
Yeah.
It's like Christmas morning. And even this year, I was in Las Vegas, and I attended by myself. Second year that I've gone by myself.
Yeah.
It's there's nothing like it. I think the energy of being in a professional wrestling show, whether there's 80,000 at WrestleMania or 200 at Mount Albert War Memorial Hall, it's the greatest form of entertainment on the planet. And I won't have anyone tell me otherwise. We've all got our thing.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not a huge fan of ballet. I can appreciate it. I can understand why it'd be their passion. This is my passion. But being there and absorbing the energy and appreciating the athleticism and seeing people get lost in the art of wrestling.
Yeah. 100%.
And the amount of times, and you would have seen this as well, the amount of times people that don't get wrestling, they come along and by the end they're like, when's the next show?
Yes, absolutely.
It is an incredible hit rate.
Yeah.
I think wrestling just has a way of capturing people, and I've been captured for almost coming on 40 years.
Yeah, and it's incredible to see. It's incredible to watch. So yeah, thank you for coming in and sitting down with us, man. This has been a real joy for me and a very humbling experience as well. So
thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
There you go, everyone. Wrestling aficionado, guru, all-round GC, such a nice human being, Dion McCracken. I'm sure if you've sort of made it all the way through the podcast, you'll really get a sense of the love and the passion that he has for wrestling, not just like international wrestling, like most people would associate with like WWE or AEW or New Japan Pro Wrestling, but with the local wrestling scene in New Zealand. Having been involved with it, like this, I guess, the second or third iteration round where he got together with a few. He was sort of involved quite early on in helping build up the scene. Massive depth of knowledge, and the guy has had some amazing things in his life. And I always sit here at the end of the podcast and sort of reflect on things that we've talked about. And this wasn't really sort of discussed, but kind of the overarching theme that I got from this is opportunity. I think that would probably be the thing I got the most out of this. And what I mean by that is, Dion found his passions and his loves, and, by just doing that and being who he is, opportunities came to him. And in life, we always get these opportunities that come towards us, and you can either say yes or no. Yes, because it's like, it's amazing and it's something you want to do and you want to go from there. Or we say no because it may not be the right time, or we've got too much other stuff going on in our lives. Dion has had some incredible opportunities come his way, and he's just said yes, because of course, and that's certainly also valid for a lot of our other guests as well. When opportunities come to you, you say yes. And that's one of the things that is so amazing, is when people do see those opportunities and they do take advantage of them. So very cool. Thank you for coming in and sitting down with us, Dion. Really appreciate it. I'm going to flick to my camera now. So yeah, where can you find us? Well, we've got a few different places. I will quickly run through them. Run through them, not one through them or lun through them. That sounds very, very silly. So, for the visuals, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, all Northland Artist Conversation. It'll be sort of around my midsection height. And for the audio, you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube Podcasts. Again, all Northland Artist Conversation. Easier way to do it as well is to just open up a web browser of your choice, type in Northland Artist Conversation, and look, the results are there. There's like the Spotify stuff, there's a few other different podcast places, there's the YouTube. I think there's the article in the Northern Advocate for when we first launched, which was amazing. So yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff just sort of in that first page. Check us out, you will find us. And if you're an artist that hasn't been on but are kind of interested and would like to be on, then we'd love to hear from you. Or if you're an artist that's been doing cool stuff and you've been on before and we'd love to have you back on, man, that'd be wicked. Please just email hello@northlandartistconversation.co.nz, all one word, or reach us through our socials. We will gladly message you back and get in touch and go from there and have a great time. Thank you very kindly. Going to go back to the wide. Yeah, it's winter. It's 2026. The world is in a very interesting place at the moment. He says that. And I want to thank Editor Lee for coming in and sitting down and doing this tonight. It's been an absolute blast. Actually, it's the first time I've caught up with Lee in a while. I'm waving hi. Hi. She says hi too. It's very nice. But yeah, hey, so on behalf of myself, producer Andrew, editor Lee, engineer Steve, my name is Mark Kelly. I am the host of Northland Artist Conversation. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you guys real soon.